everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening.
I'm doing great. There's nothing more that I like better than being surrounded by a bunch of men. And boy, we got another one about to come on the screen.
Was that much a Freudian slip?
Yeah. Got to watch that pre-broadcast to figure out what that's all about.
Yeah. Patreon members will find out tomorrow. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm so excited that we got this gentleman with us tonight because he is a member and the lead investigator, actually, of Southern Heat Paranormal, and he is also a firefighter, which he had a lot of great stories. We met him at the Paracon in Ballinger, and I got to attend his presentation while Blake graciously manned the table. And so I got to hear him not only talk to chickens, he's very good at talking to chickens, but go follow his Facebook page if you want to see. But he's also a captain in the Fort Moore, Georgia Fire Department. He's also worked for the Department of the Army, and you can catch him on Scare Network TV in a show called The Other Side. So, and tell me the name of it again.
Ura Shrine.
U-R-A.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
URA.
URA Shrine. And just, when
we're going to get you there. It's okay, Shelley.
It doesn't look right to me. So, but anyway, I want to go ahead and ladies, you're welcome in advance. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring on Captain Michael Angus.
Yo, what's up,
you
EVP?
Good looking thing.
Hey, well, thank you. You give me all red already.
You look like
I'll be blushing.
Fighting a fire, all
Yeah.
sweaty and sooty. Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Mike's already regretting it, isn't he?
Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on.
Well, Mike, we are so excited to have you on tonight, and thank you so much for graciously agreeing to be here. Suddenly, I can't speak. I'm all flustered.
Geez, what's wrong?
I don't know. You just had that effect on me, Mike.
Come on.
I'm telling you. So tell us a little bit of kind of how you got into, like, what you were a firefighter. You worked for the Army.
I still work for the Army.
Child, do that noise again. Anyway. We're so sorry, Mike. I apologize.
No, don't.
Oh, okay. You like it, then I'll continue. How'd you kind of get into it? I mean, you're a firefighter. You obviously see a lot of death and you see a lot of destruction in people at their worst moments.
Yeah.
What put you towards the paranormal? What made you go, okay, I think I'm going to see what happens after I leave the scene, for lack of better?
It took a long time, a lot of not convincing, but a lot of incidents that I was on, or scenarios that I was on to get me where I'm at today. So, oh man, I can't think of the year, maybe 91, 92. It was one of my first calls where we responded to try to set the scene for you. It was an old railroad overpass, and they converted it to like a rails to trails. Mm-hmm. It was Christmas time, December. And this is up north in Pennsylvania. And there was a Jeep that was up on this rails to trails. Well, he was trying to turn around to get back off of it. Well, he fell off this bridge and onto the road below. And it was a Jeep, and it hit the ground. The top broke off. He was injured, but she was near dead. She was laying in the top of this Jeep with like Christmas gifts everywhere. So obviously we responded, and I get there, and I'm trying to help her as best I can until EMS gets there, and she's like just staring at me, and I'm basically watching her body or life, her soul leave her body, and then that was like my initial first call when I seen that kind of stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then as my career progressed, going through these different scenarios and traumatic incidences and scenes and dealing with death, I've always had that wonder of like, there's something more out there. I think we are like that. I think I always tell people, we worry more about what happens after life than we worry about what's going on in our life. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, what's going on the other side, what happens when we die. But so over the years, I just kept running these calls and just seeing this kind of stuff and this trauma. And then I remember this one time, we responded to a chest pain call. I don't know what year it was, But the guy was up like me and you talking, but real bad chest pain. He said, "Man, I think I'm going to go out," and he fell back on the bed. So we started CPR, and the medic went to shock him. She did shock him and brought him back into a normal sinus rhythm because he was in V-fib. And as he was starting to come around, he started getting mad at us. He's like, "I seen you guys. I seen you guys. I was watching you the whole time. I was telling you not to shock me, because I knew it was going to hurt."
Oh,
And
wow.
literally, he was outside of his body watching us. And this is before cell phones and, we could
Right.
record anything or say, "Hey, say that again," or, get any evidence on that kind of stuff. And I had people grab my hand, doing CPR on them, wake up and grab them, which that's not really paranormal, but yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday, him yelling at us saying, "Don't shock me, don't shock me." He's all mad when he woke up. He said, my damn chest hurts.
And there's no way he could have known that. He was not
No.
conscious.
No, he was in V-fib, or his heart's just fluttering. There's no rhythm.
Yeah.
There is a
Right.
rhythm, but there's no
There's no blood pumping, really.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So he was out until we shocked him, and he come back around and he was mad.
And is that kind of like your first, like, so that's whenever you kind of really got interested
Yeah,
in finding out what's
kinda.
on the other side? Because
Yeah, it was
to
like
me, there's no way they could know that.
there's no way. And I just, back then I wasn't really chasing ghosts, but it was like as things progressed, it was like whoever it was like leading me to that point. And I was like, I just wasn't listening, I guess. I don't know. I watched all the shows, that come out, Ghost Hunters, all the original shows, Paranormal State. I mean, I was just in Penn State. That was just down the road from me.
Mm-hmm.
Heather and all them were all into that. And which leads me to Penn State. In 1996, I was on a school shooting there, a college shooting.
Oh.
Yeah, it was 96. Julian, I can't remember her last name. She took a rifle on campus, and she shot one girl and killed her from, I don't know how far away, maybe 40, 50 yards in the back. Shot another guy in the abdomen, and she was hiding out in a bush. And some guy went to stop her, and when she went to stab him, he blocked it. She's female, stabbed down, so she stabbed herself in the thigh. And he obviously put a tourniquet on it, but I transported her to the hospital.
Whoa.
I remember that, talking to her and a detective talking to her. It's a closed case now. I think she pled insanity. I really didn't follow too much up on her after that. But she never admitted to why. I guess she had a rough past. Not that that's any excuse. Just her mother was just saying stuff, went through a divorce, whatever. But so you can imagine all that energy at that scene at one time. And that's how we're trained. And that's why I think I do well with a lot of things, because we're trained to organize chaos at a fast rate. Like if we're panicking, then it's all fucking shit at that point. Because if we're scared, there's no control over anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of times my asshole pucker, but most of the time.
Well, I was gonna say mine too in the moment when we're investigating, but I just
Right.
looked at Shelly and I'm like, all right, is she running? No, all right, I'm good.
Right.
All right, we're
Just
good.
gotta stay calm.
If she's running, if you see me running, you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You need to be a few steps ahead. But it's just all those years of training and being exposed to it, and it has helped me in this. And Matt, my partner too, he's the same way. Matt's a career firefighter. We both play off each other when it comes to that kind of stuff, because he's calm, collect. He's seen a lot of shit and has been through a lot too. So, but over the years of just, I think, being exposed to that constant, veil between life and death, and seeing people pass and being there when they pass. Because if you see me, you're probably having a bad day or the last day of your life. Death doesn't discriminate, infant to elderly. It's going to happen, and I've ran my share of that too over the years. So it's just one of those things where, I think a lot of it has helped comfort me, just knowing that now in my career, and I've always grew up in the church and believed in that kind of stuff, but now a lot of that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Early on in my career, experiencing it now, I think a lot of it's coming back to me.
So do you think that your perspective with being a first responder, and as you just said, seeing people on their worst day or their last day even.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think with doing what you do now in the paranormal that gives you somewhat, maybe possibly, I'm going to use the word advantage, of a different perspective in the paranormal field?
Yeah, I think, and Matt would agree with me too. I think we're almost like an empath for it, kind of, because it's just a little bit of that energy we absorb into us.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and I think when we go out to investigate, like you said, to do this kind of stuff, I think so. I mean, we're professionals in the fire side. We're not a professional in the paranormal side, but
right.
But yeah, definitely, I think a lot of that does play off.
Well,
into
we
that.
know that our experiences, we carry our experiences with us.
Mhm.
And when we walk into a location, those experiences sometimes help us or help other, help spirits, entities, whatever you want to call them, to recognize. Do you think that they recognize that in your case you are there to heal, to help? Do you get a lot of spirits come to you that or interact with a lot that want you to help them or heal them or fix them?
Yeah, early on, I think it sort of like backfired on us because like we would announce ourselves and try to process things, and I think we weren't going the right way with it. And then I end up in Texas. Was it with you guys? Yeah, with Chris Moon. And I got to work with Chris for a couple of days, and he sort of redirected me on which way I needed to be with it. And now that I have that into play, I think with all this, I think it opened up a whole other door.
Can I ask which direction he asked you to go?
Well, it was like, I like ITC stuff. I'm big in ITC. I mean, we have all these gadgets to talk and sense stuff and do all these things and map stuff out.
Yeah.
But you need that communication. You can have every phone app, you can have every camera, every video recorder, every SLS camera, whatever you want to buy, what's hot in the market. But if you don't have that gap bridged with communication, it's all shit. And that's like in our field, and as far as fire, we have to have constant communication. We have to be verbalizing with each other and understanding things and coming up with a plan and executing it. And I think that's why it works with the paranormal, and working with Chris and doing what we did down there. It sort of opened my eyes a little bit. And now it seems like my ITC responses have really picked up. That like I've had full sentences and communications with the spirits now. So that's all on Chris, Chris and D, and his journey. Chris has been around a long time, since Paranormal State, and probably even before Paranormal State. So
hold on, I want to touch on something.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
A little bit further on what you were saying on your ITC equipment. You're getting full sentences. What are you using?
Oh man, we have a variety of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So Austin Maynard, I don't know if you know Austin or not. He builds a lot of work.
Yeah.
He builds a lot of stuff for me. So I use Austin's stuff. Jay Prather, I have a couple of his devices. Phasma Box. I know it's a stupid app, but I tell you what, I cannot debunk it. We've tried everything in the world to try to like. I thought I sent you the video, but I didn't. We had a lady the other night, like I was just yambling on like this, talking about ITC and all this blah blah blah. And this lady comes back and says, "Oh, well, thank you, Michael." Like clear as day. That's not a fucking radio station.
No.
Yeah.
There's no one sitting there saying, "Thank you, Michael." You know what I mean? You can't. It's like EVPs, recorded. You can't debunk them to a point.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like, but yeah, I mean, it's really picked up with the ITC. But yeah, nothing. I mean, hell, shit. Get an old tape recorder or spirit box, whatever you got. And yeah, nothing
Start
really.
asking questions. See what
Yeah, I don't use a lot of phone apps, and I'm not discrediting phone. I mean, it's ITC, so I mean, I don't know what's tied to that. In that program, I can't see the program. Where Phasma Box, I can't really see the program either. But we've tried it with other devices, to try to debunk it or. Some of the stuff you can, but other stuff, it's like
you're trying to see if you can get it to agree with something else, and it continues to agree.
Yeah,
or get validation.
Validation.
Yeah.
It's been pretty crazy, some of the stuff we've gotten lately. So
What's the most interesting thing that you've gotten off of it?
Oh man.
It's like asking what your favorite kid is, Ryan.
Yeah,
God, why are you going to do
man.
that to him?
You ever have anybody come through and flirt with you?
Nah, I've been told to fuck off.
Oh, I get that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. No, nothing real sexual or inappropriate. Nothing like that. Just
Damn, you need to come hang with us at a couple locations.
Right.
I don't know.
I still remember Ryan screamed out at me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was
Yeah.
called. I was doing an event in Chambersburg, PA.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing the Estes method. I was just filming for searchers, and I was behind the lady walking around, and I don't think she seen me or heard me, but she come across and said "creeper." So I don't know if that counts as inappropriate, but maybe I don't know.
Oh, we've had them scream in Ryan's ear, eat.
Yeah, I told you.
The
big C.
Yeah, the big
Y'all
C.
said it
Talk.
100 times. I was leading the
Yeah.
Smith between these two guys, and we had the brothel girls and some of the customers coming through. And Ryan goes, "I just heard eat cock."
Maybe I just haven't investigated the right places. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
hit
you gotta come
brothels, man.
investigate with us.
I don't know if I've ever been to a brothel. Oh, am I thinking
brothels,
that?
man.
Yeah, Rose
God
Hotel.
knows. Well, we got to get you down here in Texas because everything was a brothel at one point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we were at I guess that hotel there. What is that?
Old Park.
Old Park.
Old Park
Mhm.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Well, that's where that one was.
That's where it
Ryan
was, yeah.
screamed
I remember
out,
seeing. I don't know if you showed that video, not in your presentation.
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
That's a come talk to us at the table.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I've heard the N word and a lot of bad stuff in the South. So.
Right,
It's
you do
interesting because
sometimes.
we always tell everybody
Awful.
we're not responsible for what the
I
spirits say.
know. I talk.
Right.
And
I
we
know.
apologize if anything gets said that's offensive, but we don't have any control. Once you start asking for them to communicate, they're going to say whatever they want.
And if they were terrible assholes in life, they're going to be terrible assholes in death.
And I run into that all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to communicate with the spirit, you always have the people interrupt, or I'm going to kill you, or Satan's going to get you, or you always get the mouthy ones, trying to.
I always like them.
Disrupt your flow,
Right.
I'm like, bring his ass on up here. I'll chat with him.
my favorite is when you go way the hell out of your way. You're hours on a road trip and you get there and the first thing you walk in and they're like, "Get out!" And you're like, I just fucking got here. Like, calm down,
Yeah. Well, I guess there's no time to them, so.
True. True.
So, being a first responder, has there been any time where you have been in a situation where you felt like a entity guided you to safety or got you out of a situation you were in?
I get a lot of flashes, and I don't mean fire flashes, and I never
flash images.
Yeah, and I get a lot of that, and I never knew what they were. I just thought it was my brain, like pareidolia, or my brain's just your brain. I don't know. I don't understand.
Right.
Like I see a lot of stuff happen before it happens, not intuition that something's going to happen, but after it happens, I see it on the scene. Does that make sense? It feels like I'm communicating with a person. Well, like if we're in a car accident, and I'm sitting there working, I can visualize in my mind it happening.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like precognition; it's almost like postcognition.
Yes, there you go. That's
gotcha.
a good terminology.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So as far as being guided out anywhere, I think to a point, maybe in a fire, like I was in a mall fire, huge mall fire, and this I think is 94. And it was JCPenney's was here, and there was another Sears was here, but in the middle there were stores burning. Of course, that type of construction, big steel block construction, and literally the ceiling collapsed all around us, and we were by the cancer tree. There was like a Christmas tree you could hang a loved one's name on, like an angel tree, and it collapsed all around near us, except it didn't smash us or that angel tree.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, again, not thinking about it, you know what I mean? Just one of those things. But you can see. Go ahead.
I like how this man is like, that was pretty cool. I would have shit my britches. I'm just saying.
No, I get it. I mean, it's just how we're trained, you know. I don't know what you guys do for them, but I'm sure your job, you know, it's like I wouldn't climb a pole to work on electricity. So
no.
Oh no, I'm a realtor. I show houses.
Oh, well.
Here's a closet. There's a living room. That's all that I got. You know?
Well, you probably see some cool houses, some creepy shit in houses.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been.
No doubt, dude.
Crazy
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you get vibes going to houses?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Matt's that way. Matt will go into a house and be like, "Oh God, what
Yeah.
happened here?" Just like you can just like, I don't want to say smell it, but you know what I mean, just get that
Right.
overload of sensory when you go in these homes. But yeah, that was whatever you believe in, God, Buddha, whatever you believe in. I think, you know, you're led to be, and it's just part of being hyper focused, and that goes back to when we investigate those senses.
Mm-hmm.
We're using senses that we normally don't always use, but we're really using them there. And I think that happens a lot of times when me and Matt go out and investigate, is we have those senses are heightened.
Right.
So we hear stuff and try to debunk stuff or whatever. I mean, sometimes we get a little spooked. It depends where you're at, you know. Sometimes it's just you're a human being.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. That was one time I can remember that.
It's interesting that you say that, because I've always wondered that with especially first responders, because y'all are trained that way. And so I've always wondered what that parallel between being a first responder and being a paranormal investigator is. So that's really interesting.
We're boring. I don't, you know what I mean? Like a lot of our episodes is boring. So Matt always says, this is boring to watch us. But even if I investigate, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean? It's what it is. You know, I'm not going to run down a hall with a camcorder in my face that the demon's chasing me. You know what I mean? I'm here to collect evidence and show people. If we don't, we don't. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just, it is what it is. But
you try the Shelly tactics. Shelly can't get them to produce. She'll get a sit on a table and take her shirt off. You know.
Well, there you go.
No, I've never actually taken
You've threatened.
No.
You've threatened
for them to talk to you, huh?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
works.
It works.
Flirting with it works.
Hell, she's probably got me to take my shirt off more than she's ever taken her shirt off.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very true. I think I've got you 3 times, Ryan.
I think you may have, yeah.
I can see that happening. Yeah, I think we've done some events with, you know, females obviously come out and stuff, and we've had interactions with that kind of, not taking off shirts, but
Right.
No, I
you
know.
know,
They're just talking shit.
yeah,
Right.
the topless investigation, you know, but
That might be a thing.
No, be careful.
Mr.
You're gonna
Mike
draw.
Angus.
You're gonna draw a whole different crowd that you don't want.
Yeah, all these friend requests I have to deny.
You'd be like have ladies come in and going, Mike Angus, you can be a bull in my china shop.
So where are you guys out of? All in the same place?
Texas.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that.
It's all over
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know like
Yeah,
how you communicate or coordinate your events and your obviously this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Texas ain't small,
No,
No,
it's not.
It's not.
right?
We're extremely codependent and spend way too much time on the phone with each other and
that's all right.
on the road with each other. So
Yeah,
yeah.
DFW, Longview, and Austin.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're all over the central and eastern part of the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Now, I promised them I was going to ask this. Okay.
Ask me.
Department of the Army.
Department of
So
Defense,
talk.
Department of Army. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so talk.
well, let me tell you about
DOD.
a little bit of. You're going to be getting shut off here in a minute, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I already have an
Feed
FBI
just goes
file on
dead.
you.
Well,
That's the truth.
I started my career in the federal government a long time ago, and I actually worked for Washington Headquarters Service, which is sort of like the 5th branch of the Pentagon.
Okay.
So I worked in a facility that's in Pennsylvania that's top secret, but I did that for a while. But they have a fire department there. So
Yeah, you were in the fire department there. Go ahead.
yeah.
Careful, Shelly.
Hey,
But I
you
mean,
know something?
you can Google any of this stuff. You know, a lot of it's just propaganda they put on there to deter people. But and then I worked in Montgomery County, Maryland, for NIH. You know, NIH is National Institutes of Health, where Dr. Fauci is at. Actually, a little quick story about Fauci. I thought I was all the shit is when Ebola was, and I should have sent you those pictures. Should have. See, I told you. Once I get going, it'll start
That's all
clicking.
right.
When Ebola was hot, 2017, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were picking up patients to bring to that facility from the hospital or from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Fauci ran that department. So we had these isopods. They would put the patients in when we pick them off the airplane. And they had like a HEPA filter on each end. You put them in this isopod and you could work on them, but it protected you and it protected them.
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
we would take them to NIH where they would be treated. And I should have sent you the one guy that we did save. I don't know with HIPAA if you could show that stuff or not. But anyways,
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not showing any pictures, faces, or names. But I actually worked with Fauci for a while, not directly, but indirectly. He was there, and Discovery came. So we thought we were all this shit because they were going to film us. We were going to do all this stuff. Had all this equipment out, running on the ambulance, all looking buff and good. So they had that Sheldon from Big Bang Theory was there. Jim, is that his name?
Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons. Great guy. So he did his thing there for a couple episodes and all this, like sit down when it comes out with my bowl of popcorn, ready to make my debut. And they cut us all out completely. Didn't show any of it.
You were all looking good, ready for your calendar photo shoot. They went, no, we don't need this part.
Yeah, we had these guys like our gowns on, respirators, you know what I mean, taking a patient upstairs, and they had it all set up nice for filming and made it look good. And nope. Didn't show a thing. And then who else came there one time was
on there instead of y'all. Okay.
Yeah, they had Sheldon on there. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. He's a good guy. And then Discovery was in DC. Now I don't know where they're at, if they still are or not. I think Warner Brothers bought them, so I don't know where they're at. But Parker Schnabel was in around the area too a couple of times because he'd come up to their office from Gold Rush. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that was a start of it. I worked at NIH for a long time too, doing that kind of stuff. And if Ground Zero ever starts or the zombie apocalypse ever starts, it's going to be National Institutes of Health in DC because that's where all the bad stuff is.
Oh, dang!
Well, not the most secure lab, but there are other places.
I don't want to know that.
No.
Okay, Mike. Aliens.
Aliens?
That's what I was gonna say.
Aliens.
I've never seen any grays. I've seen stuff in the sky, but there's no aliens there.
Is there anything you can talk about that you saw?
No. Oh, yeah. I mean, nothing more than me and you. I mean, that I've seen. I've never really did anything with grays or anything like that. Or that would be more Air Force or Space Force that would deal with that kind of stuff. I just dealt a lot with the sick stuff. And I tell you what, man, unfortunately, NIH, if you come there, they had a children's center, and they had, and they had a whole ward for that. But like people were coming there for diseases they can't cure or fix.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one time. It wasn't a child; it was an adult, and I just told my family this because I always tell them random stuff because it just pops in my head. But we were called for a fall patient, which is no big deal. So we went over to the hotel part, and she's like, yeah, he's there in the back. I think he broke his leg. We walk in, this guy's leg's behind his head.
Oh, no.
He had some kind of bone disease. Yeah, so, and then we called the ER. We're like, hey, we're going to trauma alert this guy, just so you know. And they're all like sort of laughing. Yeah, okay. It's like, no, you need to get an ortho surgeon. I'm serious. So we go in there, and his foot's by his ear, and like, oh shit, you were lying. I'm like, yeah, no shit. They just call you for no reason. But yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my God.
Just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to get too touchy with stuff, but you got to consider, I see people, if you believe in that, like cross that veil. Like, I see the life go out of them. So I've been on scenes where like there's still gun smoke.
Oh, man.
So it's just like, it's one of those things where when we go to the paranormal and talk to, Joe Smith that died 200 years ago that haunts the house, to me, it's just sort of like, okay. And we have a whole theory on that too, about walls and ghosts. But anywho.
Well, what is it?
Well,
come
And we was talking about ITC. I just want to keep jumping thing to one thing, but time's man-made. So there's no time after this.
Yes.
And people I think get tied up in that, like they want an answer now. A lot of times we ask questions, and you'll see in our videos, you'll hear responses like, well, that was real random because they were answering a question we asked 20 minutes ago and just got to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time. It's man-made. So there's no days. There's no walls. There's no homes. There's none of that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of times when people think, yeah, there's Joe Smith haunts it. There's a little girl that haunts it. There's a white girl in a white dress that haunts this place. Whatever, that could be. But I think once we turn that beacon on and bridge that gap, that build that communication, which you have to have is communication when you investigate. And once you establish that, I think you're good. But a lot of times when we do that, I think it's like a beacon. And I don't know if it goes out far. I don't know if we'd like wiretap into that world. I don't know if it's just a bunch of people standing around. I don't know. But for some reason, it's like you get more than just Joe Smith that died 200 years ago in this house. Yeah. I think people get stuck on, that kind of thing. And, I think stuff can be brought into places. Mm-hmm. I do believe that. I think, stuff can be manifested. If through things, poltergeist activity can be manifested too, with different types of energies. But yeah, I think it's just more because some of the responses we give were like, "There's no way." Like, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's kind of on some of our investigations where we're getting something at one location and then we go 400 or 500 miles away and we're getting the same type of responses. To us as a group. I mean, there's no space, no time, stuff like that.
Maybe they're following you.
Yeah, sure.
My kids get on my ass all the time here, at the house. Shit happening and stuff going bang and moving around. Like, oh. Yeah. You got to consider over 30 years how much shit I've been exposed to. Do you know what I mean? It's you don't think about it. It's like constantly. And like you go to any firehouse in any city that has any age to it, the guys will tell you that it's haunted. Mm-hmm. There's stuff that happens there because I think a lot of times we're the last thing that people see and they attach to that. If they don't cross or decide to go or whatever that is, and they say, no, I'm staying here or can't figure it out, then maybe they're following us or spent living your life at the firehouse, but whatever,
Working on that beacon theory, you were talking about things coming to you. Have you ever gone somewhere that you've never been before and they already know who you are when you walk in the door?
We were doing an investigation. Well, actually, we were filming. And Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Nice.
And we were working with Mike and Marty Perry. I don't know if you ever work with them guys or not. But she draws what he sees.
Okay.
They've been on Ghost Adventures. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like we finally got a chance to work together. We're so happy. Like, and I feel bad. I haven't really reached out to him since we filmed and released that episode, but it's just been crazy. But anyways, make a long story short with that, we were filming and stuff was coming to him, but I think it was like trying to get a hold of us. If that made sense. So we were like not even there. So like they would come to him and at one point he's like, he said a friend of mine's name. He's like, no, I can't talk right now. And he moved on to something else. And here my friend was dying of cancer and had passed that night.
Oh, wow.
And I think he was trying to come through him to me. I don't know if I manifested it or thought of it or what it was, but it just seemed like he kept saying that name and it wasn't relevant to anything we were doing.
Right.
And then later on, when it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, my friend texted me and said, hey, your friend, Jay, our friend just passed or had passed. But not that I can think off the top of my head. As soon as I lay my head on the pillow tonight, I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, that was one time. Yeah. I mean, it's always that way. Or I'm exercising or doing something. It's like, stuff's firing in my brain, then I sit here, I'm like, but no. No, just besides that, I think nothing really, has really comes to mind.
Right.
And, dream. Go ahead.
So it sounds like your friend was like bridging that communication gap that you were talking about.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, trying to. Yeah, for real. Like he was. And I didn't connect the dots because that episode was just insane with those two, and we just didn't put it together, and then it made sense. And I got the text. I'm like, oh, all right.
Well, you know, you have so much happen on an investigation, like you're saying. It's once you get home and you start thinking about it, or you're exercising and you're thinking about it, then everything starts hitting. You're like, oh, that was an answer to this, or oh, that does make sense now. You know,
right?
So,
or you watch the video,
but in the moment, you're just like,
right?
What does this mean?
Yeah, you don't put it together.
Yeah,
you know, not all the time. So, and that's and I try, and I think that's what me and Matt try. You know, hardest to try to. We're problem solvers, because if you can't fix something, you call 911.
Right.
You know, we come. So a lot of times we're always trying to figure it out. You know, and it's sort of aggravating sometimes. You know, you got to consider, like, our decisions in that minute when we're dealing with somebody's lives can affect them forever, can affect their family forever, and everything. So what we do and how we react makes it in our job is a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a surgeon or anything like that, but still, I mean, there's times where I got to make a decision, and if that decision was wrong, that person could fall, something could happen, and they could get hurt or killed, and that's on me. I made that decision. So, you know,
right.
Well, those decisions that you have to make in those split seconds. You were a first responder at Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
So what?
Oh man,
what was going on? What was? I hate to ask. What was your most jarring moment there? Because that's kind of
it's overwhelming down there.
Yeah.
Like we were in Hancock County, Texas, Brett Favre's high school, but 2005, I think I spent 21 days in that area from when it hit till I come home. We were initially going through and doing like initial sweeps, checking buildings, securing buildings, looking for hazards, USAR team, that kind of stuff. And then we would go through and of course, I don't know if you guys were affected, but where I was at, there was no street signs or nothing. It looked like a bomb went off. And I think I sent you a picture.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that should give you some kind of. You can see that picture was like what it all looked like everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, we were actually at that point in the deployment, we were looking for bodies of missing. So they didn't really have a record of where they were at. They never checked in anywhere. And then you had, rotten food, rotten refrigerators. So you're trying to find and sniff stuff out. Of course, we had canines. Of course, they got overwhelmed in a matter of days. Their sniffers got over sniffed. So they had to recalibrate them with blood. I never knew that until I worked with a canine unit like that.
They recalibrate them with blood?
Yeah, their own blood. Not the dog's blood, but the handler's blood. Yeah. Because
what is he like? Just
they just prick their finger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sniff the blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? I never knew that.
Huh. Well,
now you learned something.
I imagine it was super hard, but because there was water standing everywhere, right?
Yeah, like it was just, it
yeah,
was terrible. Like you had to clean your decon, your boots every day. Your shirts were bleached just from the sun. Hot as balls. But I think a lot of things, just the interactions with the people that rode it out. There's people that rode that out, like in their house, and didn't evacuate. Seeing people like swept away, like literally, like they said, they watched the whole ocean just get all sucked out to sea, like from the beach out, as far as they could see. The water was gone. The water was gone, and then it obviously come back in. And just, they rode it. People rode that out. And then it's the weather had spun off tornadoes afterwards and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But just, a lot of looting, obviously. Look at that energy. I mean, that's like,
what I was going to ask was, did you ever get like just your senses tell you to go one way and you found someone? Not using the dogs or anything. Were you ever pulled to a direction where, because of all that energy, somebody was like
Was
just
trying to
clinging
reach
to
out.
life. Yeah, and just like pay attention over here, and you just
Yeah.
happen to stumble upon them, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Not that I could recall, honestly. You know, I wasn't really in tune with that.
Right.
If it was, I wasn't processing it that way at that
Yeah.
point
Okay.
in my career. It didn't get till I got down really to Georgia till the light went on my head. I'm like, we've been trying to tell you this stuff from your beginning, and now you just realizing. You know, we've been trying to reach out to you and tell you this, but
well, that's what I was going to kind of touch on that, but I
Yeah.
mean, you just kind of answered the question right there, because we know there's this weird phenomena that we've all kind of heard about. Well, I don't know if you've heard about it, Mike, but you know that the paranormal kind of increases with this natural disaster type thing that takes place. So have you heard of anything along that lines? Have you yourself experienced anything along that lines? Maybe not with Katrina or anything, but anything else that you handled in your career?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Yeah, I just talked about that with somebody the other day about how disasters and even shootings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess that's a good answer. You know,
Yeah.
the school shooting at Penn State. You know, I guess just that energy and that kind of stuff, and maybe it led me to her. You know, as far as that goes, and nothing at Katrina. Again, not processing it back then. I just played it like, you know, it was my spidey senses.
Right.
That makes sense.
Your
like, you know,
gut.
I'm training, I'm hearing stuff, I'm seeing stuff. You know, it's just one of those things where maybe somebody led somebody to me somehow, some way, and now here I am. We just had this discussion the other day, and I'm drawing a blank now, but anything comes to mind when it.
Well, a lot of people call that their gut. My gut told me instead of going that direction.
I think it's like your spidey sense, and maybe the other side is reaching out to you too, saying, you know, come here, I'm trying to tell you something. Just not listening to me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to focus, and
even though you weren't really paying attention to it at the time, with all of that, you know, all that energy swirling around from the natural disaster and the human situation, where there were a lot of weird things happening down there while you were going through and checking these houses and checking for people.
Yeah. Just, I people just like would appear in places, and like I don't know if they were just like not like ghostly figures, but like you know what I mean, you know, it was just how weird how you'd interact with people and then you wouldn't see them again, or find certain items of stuff that we found I was at a building fire one time. It was a VFW. See, I told you, just keep talking to me. It'll
click. It'll click eventually.
Again. It'll click.
Yeah.
We were at VFW was on fire, and we were obviously putting it out. We went to this one room, and I picked up I got a wood case off the ground. It was covered open. Up here was a Bible. It was still intact, like a real old Bible. So like the Christmas tree thing, you know what I mean? Led there, you know what I mean? Sort of, but yeah, I do remember picking up that Bible that wasn't burnt. You know, I don't know. That was 90s, early 90s. I didn't know nothing then, you know. They always say you could see like the devil in a fire and that kind of outline.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, you know, that's pareidolia shit.
Right.
The devil's in the house.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, if like I said, if I just didn't process it, like you're saying, like your gut senses are, look, my training paid off. I sensed this, you know what I mean? And it really wasn't me at all. You know, somebody leading me there that I just didn't know or see.
I think that's very possible a lot of times, that you can be led to where you're supposed to be.
Sure.
Right.
And now one that I believe you sent us a couple of video clips at. Was of the Harriman Hospital, right?
Yeah,
How often have you investigated that? How many times?
Just once.
Just once?
Yeah, I want to get back. I get with Ronnie all the time, and Ronnie wants us to come up and do. I think Satori was just there with Brian and Rochelle did an event there, but we haven't done anything. I don't know when we were at Harriman, how many years ago that was. But this was in the basement, and this was, I think her name was Anna. It's either Ann or Anna, and I always think I said it wrong in the video, and I didn't want to insult the family. Make a long story short, the ward we were investigating at that point was in the basement, and they get a lot of activity down there. And she was a nurse there for years,
Okay.
and ended up having a heart attack and dying there. Isn't that great? All those years you worked and then you die. I mean, not laughing at her, but that's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
Luck, die where you're.
Irony. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But of course, she's supposedly still there.
Right.
And that video clip there's a couple. We're I think just using Matt builds ghost portals. Like he gets it in his brain, and we'll go on like an investigation or go film. He'll bring this big wooden box and have all these wires but it's just a ghost portal. He just had run him, just something he built himself. Nothing off the shelf. Just that's how we get our best responses, I think. But yeah, if we play that clip, you'll hear a couple of voices, and we'll go through them and talk about them.
Okay.
Hi. 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 Is there something you want to tell us?
Yeah, so that was at Harriman. I think it's 3A or A3. And if you're listening, anybody from South Pittsburgh or Harriman, I'm sorry. I just don't know what. I think it's 3A or 3A was it's in the basement. So I think the first response we got was her,
Okay.
a female saying hi to us.
Hi. Yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, that was it. It's like, stay and talk to us, but,
Right.
she might have been doing rounds or whatever. And then that guy said, kill me. Isn't that creepy? Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So he's been hurt a few times, saying it and interacting down there with that kind of stuff. And I don't know who the yes was at the end. I'm not sure if it was a female or a male. But that word was pretty active, like the REM pod activity, and other voices and stuff like that. If you ever get a chance, have you been to Harriman?
No.
We have not
yet.
yet.
You need to go. You need to go.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Yeah, Ronnie's good on price. They basically let you have free reign to a point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's an awesome
As
place.
always,
If you want evidence and want to use stuff, you'll get responses there.
So,
Whether it's
go ahead.
like a lot of residual stuff, like we caught, how like if you push an elevator, it comes up and the door opens, it rings. We caught elevator chimes going off on
Really?
our ghost cams. Yeah, just shit like that. Because I asked him, I said, do you have like a bell tower in town that rings? He's like, fuck no, we have nothing like that. So, I wanted to debunk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's
Right.
the bell tower. It rings at midnight. You know what I mean? Like, no. But yeah, good place. Harriman, Old South Pittsburgh's a good place too. Like immediately when you go in those places, it's like you're just walking in there so active.
Did you get any more? I have to ask because the guy saying "kill me" that's fascinating to me. That's not usually something that gets said. I mean, we've been doing this a while, and you very rarely. I don't think I've ever heard one go "kill me."
Yeah, right.
I have either.
So
I was looking for a
did you get
pillow.
anything else from him?
Wait a second. No, that was it.
That was
That
all.
I can remember. Yeah, because I was trying to dig through my stuff and even watching the videos to see if he responded again.
Yeah.
But he is known up there, and I think other people have got response. I don't know who it is. Obviously, if you hear me, I'm sorry if you had a bad life and you wanted to die, but I don't know.
I was just curious if you got any more from
No.
him because that's very interesting.
And we don't get a lot of God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who left? Oh man, we're switching around here.
It's all right.
It's all right.
You're gonna make me dizzy.
Just roll with it.
I
It'll be
just
all right.
wanted to be above you so you could look at my skirt, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
We randomly switch places. No, just kidding.
I like that. Do the hokey pokey or
It's just like it's paranormal merry-go-round.
yeah. What's the one where you touch the chairs? They play the music.
Oh,
Musical
yeah.
chairs.
Yeah, musical
There you
chairs.
go.
We're playing musical chairs. It's
I don't know if
there.
anybody knows what the hokey pokey is. Probably not.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, we do.
What the hell's that?
Hey, you know what? It happens. We're a fucking live show. We tell everybody that all the time. So shit happens.
Right.
Yeah.
we
Absolutely.
just roll with it.
But yeah.
So Harriman is in
Go ahead,
Tennessee, right?
Yeah, in Harriman. Herman.
Okay. And now there's another place in Tennessee that you've investigated that is like a shrine of some sort.
Oh, yeah, your shrine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
couldn't
in
say at the
Bristol,
beginning.
Tennessee. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm glad you
What
mentioned
is
it.
that?
Okay, real quick, and I don't want to misspeak, so I'm going to just say what I remember from being there and knowing. The Ura Shrine is a shrine that was built for really any religion to come practice at. So if anybody's listening, you need to get on Google when you get off the podcast and Google it and see it. Rick is the owner, and he was basically called to build this shrine. It's basically in his house.
Okay.
Oh.
So at the top of the hour, you had mentioned about Scare Network. We just were up there in January of this year and filmed for 3 days. And that is going to come out, I think, don't quote me, I think the first episode, I don't know how many parts it's going to be. Excuse me. I think three or four episodes. Yeah. But anyway, so there's a trailer out now you can watch on Scare Network. It'll give you a little more information about it. But the Ura Shrine was built by Rick himself. And I'm telling you, man, this place is wild. Like any religion can come there and practice.
Okay.
So if you walk in, there's different rooms. There's like a witch room. There's an area that he built this dragon table that's 6,000 or 10,000 pounds. But each layer, people that buried religious stuff in it, they would add another layer of cement, and this huge dragon table. And you can do seances around it and not light it on fire, but you can light all this stuff around it on fire. And there's different rooms. He's like a room where you walk into, and there's like, it's a cave room. It's like a cave with running water. And like, I'm telling you, like what I'm saying it doesn't paint a picture to really see it.
Is it built into the side of a cave, or
no, it's in his house.
Okay.
He lives upstairs. So you talk about exposure. He never ever leaves that place except to go in town to get groceries. Like he left for 3 days and he had to come home. Like he's so absorbed into that place. Like he not get it. Like we were having interactions. They just were talking about Rick, the owner. Like whoever we were interacting with would bring in these would know who Rick was and talked about him.
Like is he just drawn back to it, or
he's the gatekeeper. He's the caretaker of that place.
Okay.
He's just was attached to that place, and he'll be there till he dies.
You're talking about a beacon, man. Like every religion coming in,
That's what I was gonna say. Is that's gonna take that's gonna take a special individual to be that gatekeeper of that, because that's a lot of energy.
And he said it's just the imbalance. Like we wouldn't film for 3 days. He said after you guys leave, the whole thing will just be all out of balance. Like shit'll just be fucking happening. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be the uptick will just be crazy. The energy.
Why is that?
Just because we're all because they're used to his energy and how the things flow. And here we are coming in.
I would turn that thing sideways.
They would drown you back in the pond or the.
Don't tell everything you know, Mike.
But yeah, I'm telling you, Rick's a good guy, very knowledgeable. And I don't want to quote his religion or how he believes. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He's built something that welcomes everyone.
You can't obviously do human sacrifices or animal sacrifices that he knows about. But I think he watches a lot of times or comes down because he said
you'd have to.
He said there's people come in there that are like topless and doing stuff and like anything you can think of, he allows it. Like he has a schedule of when you can come in, I guess, and when it's open.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, that place is like like a wall. Like you're walking through a wall when you get in.
Right. And especially interesting being in the middle of the Bible Belt too, with all of that going on. I imagine. I wonder if he's caught any flack from the community because of that.
Oh yeah. And his not to tell stories out of school, but his relatives that lived there were not very nice individuals.
Oh, okay.
We all have some of those.
Well, yeah, but had like a long bad history of doing stuff with maybe younger people in the community. And
oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of that Yeah.
So
yeah.
is it like an
baptism
effort?
means.
Is it like an effort to cleanse it, maybe, or?
Yeah, he just was led to build this shrine. I don't know. I don't know if he practices stuff. He
Okay.
and then he built this. He was just like you're saying, what led you to do this, or what's your calling, or has anything ever told you to go somewhere, do something? And he was led to build this shrine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fully functional. He lives upstairs. Of course, that's just as bad upstairs. You know what I mean, there's no walls going to stop anything.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I could do that.
Well, there was a murder that happened there from his uncles. Yeah, there's a lot of
History.
bad energy and history there, and a lot of good stuff too. So there's that. He says it's balanced. The good and the evil are both balanced. Like,
maybe that was his calling, was to build something that would heal
that,
or cover that. And that's why he includes all the religions, because we all know that whenever you get talking about certain entity spirits, everything that some religious factions work better on certain things. Like most people, if there's something bad, and they'll call up on Saint Michael the Archangel, or they'll say the Lord's Prayer, or perhaps they will ask for a shaman or a Reiki healer. So I actually think that's pretty smart. If that he might have been called there to heal,
to
he
do
just
that,
didn't realize it.
Right. Yeah, Rick's a good guy. Like I said, you have to definitely check it out when it comes out in Scare Network.
And when are we going? You can get me in, right?
You didn't know you were going to have to leave with an itinerary when you came on.
Right? Send me a text where you want to go.
Promise me things, Mike Angus.
Don't.
It's up in Bristol. It's in the middle of nowhere, like beside a dollar store. Surprise.
Of course.
The dollar store is haunted by demons. But
they usually are.
That's called the frozen food section.
Oh, yeah. That's just the locals.
Is that why all their shit's always in the aisles?
Yeah.
I
love dollar stores.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I
know. Smell like diarrhea, whatever.
Oysters, 99 cents.
But what was I going to say? Yeah, we had all our equipment that we're filming. I was watching a monitor because they just did a scene in the where the pond or the water is. It has like stalactites built with water and all this stuff on the walls. So obviously the camera has remote monitors. We're watching it go down, so it looks okay in case we have to stop at the light, whatever. So, and there's sound through it, and then they cut that scene. Everybody come back out to where the dragon table was in that main area. So I'm just talking, and the monitor sound goes off. So I look at the monitor, and this is no lie, this fucking black mass just like slid down the wall. We're all just sitting there watching this thing go out. I'm like, what in the world is that?
Holy shit.
You didn't say what in the world.
Well, no. I'm like, Jesus. I have no clue what that was. Like,
he went, the fuck?
Yeah. Like, we've seen some crazy stuff, I've seen, I don't know why that is, but yeah, like as much shit as people ripped in half and dismembered and mangled, but then you see something like that, it's like, wait, what was that? Just black shadowy thing sliding down the wall.
It's you're trained to see the worst of
gore,
gore stuff. You can't train on seeing some huge black thing,
you in the moment of the reality, what that is. You've trained to see the actual thing, just thing you can't explain. All of a sudden it's like, wait, what is that?
Right.
So did it just like go down the wall and it was just gone?
And then the sound come back on.
Oh, it knocked out the sound too.
Yeah, whatever it was had that much energy.
Wow.
Just sort of just like slid down the wall. I'm like,
did you have any camera issues with batteries or anything after
that? Yeah. I mean, obviously the whole time we're there, I was killing stuff. Electronic stuff. But
seeing a place like that, I mean, my God, how do you even begin to figure out what it is?
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. Jesus, you got so many different religions coming in. With so many different intents happening.
Trying to he gives you like a protection thing to wear the whole time you're there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you do like a whole thing. It's just
I imagine you'd have to.
Yeah, you just don't go in there with a spirit box running around. I mean, you have to go like be very respectful and do the whole. He gives you like this. I still have it somewhere. Most of the guys burn it. I'm like, oh, okay. But
wait. So he
He
makes
gives
you
you
do
this
something
thing
to protect you before you
Yeah.
go in.
Yeah.
And then when you take it with you and you leave with it, is that like taking your own energy back with you? Or
Yeah. See, some guys seen it the other way. Some guys thought maybe it was stuff attached to it. I'm like, I'm over that. I mean, Jesus, at this point, if it attaches to me, good for it. You know, I mean, give it somewhere nice to live, I guess. Not making light of, anybody's never had bad experiences. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're a shrine. Rick's the guy. He's a great host, great place. I don't know. I definitely want to go back. I mean,
and that's going to be out
there's
on
really
Scare
no it'll be out, a 3 or 4 part series, Scare Network. Billy worked with Billy Lewis before, great guy.
Yeah.
He's wrapping up, I think, episode 1 right now, but
so there's no release date yet for the.
I think the searchers put on their page July, maybe.
Okay.
Cool.
I have seen the first episode, not finalized for the public yet, but
yeah.
But and places like that, you do go to investigate, but you're not really looking for answers. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, what are you gonna? There is a story to it,
Right.
And Rick wanted answers, and obviously we took what he wanted and did that type of investigation.
Right.
So you sort of had to weed some stuff out. Like, I don't know, like you had to really focus on the answers he was looking for, because there was so much other stuff there.
Right. You had to adapt your investigative style.
Oh yeah, it's not like going in and seeing the kid, let's go play ball with Jimmy that may have died here 100 years ago. This was, trying to. Rick honestly had answers that he was looking for, or questions he wanted answers for, and something's crashing in my house. Yeah, maybe what's what I'm saying, right?
So I got to ask an obligatory question.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place to investigate?
I hate big places, but we always seem to get drawn to big places. I sort of was digging Texas for a while, and the reason why is because we've really never done like the Wild West stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we've never really been too far past the Mississippi where we had the wild. We get the Civil War here, and obviously the bad past with slavery and that kind of stuff. But I never did like the Wild West, like the hotel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if it's my favorite place, but I think some of those places just get so overwhelmed with stuff to investigate. Like, to me, I have to go in with a purpose and something, like I'm looking for an answer, or I'm looking for something. I can't wander around in my mind, because I don't do that in my job. So that frustrates me when I wander around in places and not doing nothing. I don't know if that makes sense, but
you need a plan of action.
Yeah, you have to have a plan. And sometimes we get away from that plan, and it drives Matt nuts too, because I'm like a squirrel sometimes trying to put all this together. How do you run a scene?
You'd never
like
be able to investigate with me. Like,
what are you doing running down the hall? But
he knows. See,
yeah.
I'm telling you, I can go in with a whole freaking game plan, and Shelly will just blow it out of the water within the first 5 minutes.
And then I get aggravated.
Like, where the hell did she go?
And my back hurts, and I get tired and grouchy and not eating.
Yeah.
But I guess there's different levels to what I like to investigate, and where, like, if it gets too big, then it's like too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Too big of a place. So I guess something more intimate, like the hotel was good. Like that type of, but nothing. We did Bobby Mackey's.
I've done
nice.
Mackey's,
What was your experience there?
We had a lot of IT seat, like that basement where I'm in the
well room.
Right.
That was kids were running around us. That was back towards who was the girl we sang the song about? Johanna's room. Across from his storage area, there was kids running around, and that was the disembodied voices we were getting from them. And then, of course, across the spirit box. But I never knew that there was a house built in the basement.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's where the well is, right?
Yeah,
the
like-
house back- yeah.
Yeah, the guy's like, yeah, this is a house, and there's like the wallpaper of the house. I'm like, you
Right.
don't see that on
Mhm.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's the gateway to hell, or whatever they call it, the portal to hell.
Yeah, the well
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah, the well. But
We didn't see any demons when we
No,
let's
no,
just
I
say it
mean,
that
it's-
way.
We got a lot of
It's
mafia
creepy.
stuff.
We got a lot
yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
mafia
That
stuff.
basement's creepy as fuck.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care. I don't care what anybody says. That basement is different.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
It don't
We
feel
went-
good.
no. We stayed together. It's like, but yeah, a lot of ITC stuff, a lot of stuff when reviewed it, we go to post to edit. We would catch a lot of voices. I had a lady talking like almost the whole time, off and
Wow.
on, but we didn't hear her. And but I don't know. I'm glad I got to go. I guess they're tearing it down.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, it's
that's-
about to be gone. Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to get everything out of it. I've seen a lot of people have been running up there trying to investigate it, but I think the basement was more active for us, and the rear of the stage area, where it used to be like the
Over where the bull's at back there.
no upstairs on
Oh, Carl's room. Carl's
no
No?
on where the big dance floor is, the
Yeah,
stage is the back part of that. There's like another little stage.
That,
I don't
When did you go?
know.
Because they had a bull back there where you're describing it the other
No,
day.
not-
No,
Oh,
there's
I know what
another.
you're talking
Yeah. Yeah.
Back where he sings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one we had Matt had one of his ghost portals up there running, and just again that beacon. This is your time, and we do that a lot. We get into places like that
Mhm.
at the end of the night or the episode. We're like, okay, you have 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna let the spirit box run, a ghost portal run. Just if you can hear us, if you want to communicate, just say what you want to say, and we caught a lot of stuff up there. In that area, just coming across a lot of females, a lot of chat. Of course, that fucking area is terrible. They hung people there, massacred
Yeah.
Indians. I mean, it's just stained with.
It's a convergence
Awfulness.
of all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just feeds off itself.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever been to Vicksburg, Mississippi?
No, I'd love to.
Yeah, that's another hot spot. I have a
That's
connection.
the battlefield out there. Or?
Well, we went to the McNutt house. It's awful to say that, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Good place. We actually were shot at there, not literally, but a gunshot went off
Whoa.
around us. It was like residual. Scared the shit out of us. And then right after that, on the spirit box, this little girl comes across and says, "That's funny." Ha 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 ha. Yeah, little smart ass kid. There's no way to debunk that. That wasn't a radio station. Yeah, I mean, there's no one is going to say that kind of stuff. But
So when are you going to team up and go investigate?
I know.
someplace?
I
I'm
talk to all
ready.
these people, like all over the country. It's like, and then there's no way. Well, obviously Josh and Shane, but I know.
Do you want
Well,
to
I
mention
mean-
that about your current filming situation?
Yeah, real quick, we can touch on that.
Absolutely.
We've been on and off the road since January. So there's a new project going on with them, and not so much the searchers, but involving the searchers and Josh and Shane, and they're going to make a big announcement in July at the
He's
Gettysburg
not
Bash.
using their last names.
No.
Shane
Pittman.
and Josh.
You can call him. What's Mike call him? What's he say? How's he say that? Shane or Payne Shipman. And
You can say that. I won't.
Josh lives near me actually. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, about a half hour.
So
I
yeah,
guess,
that's what old Mike Angus has been doing. He's been hanging out with us,
On the
you know,
road.
Yeah, on
dates
the
with people
road.
on the
We just
road.
got back in from Alabama, so we were down there for a while hunting Bigfoot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I never did that, so that was
Yeah.
quite the adventure.
You wouldn't think Alabama would be such a hot spot for
It's
Bigfoot.
wherever we went to with this person that
Do you have a Bigfoot call that you do?
no, I was behind
you
the camera.
sure?
Yeah.
You want to give it a shot?
No.
Give me your best Bigfoot.
I don't
call.
have a Bigfoot call. I can't. The baby's sleeping. I can't.
Shelly does, and they ain't no baby sleeping.
Tell me yours first, Mike.
You sure? Never mind. But yeah, and then and we were on a break here-ish. July's Gettysburg Bash in Gettysburg, which obviously
That's a dream location.
Oh yeah, we're doing a speech on that. I was up there with Sean Austin and a couple other people, and we just sort of would go out in the evening to a place, and we sort of were just doing like little impromptu investigations, nothing fancy, just whatever, a little bit of equipment, nothing, no high-tech gear. And the last night we went out, and it's just everything aligned. And we're actually going to talk about it at the Gettysburg Bash, but it's on our YouTube page, Voices of the Past by Southern Heat Paranormal. It's like a 2-hour fucking video, but it was TikToks, and we were all filming, put it all together, and that's the first time I ever had a spirit said they could see God and Jesus, and they could see their family in the light. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's the only time I ever heard that come across, so that was interesting. But yeah, you talk about constant residual stuff, constant voices, whistles, gunshots, just
Wow.
But back to that, they're going to make an announcement at Gettysburg Bash, Josh and Shane and some other people, the stuff that's coming out down the road, so it's all a good thing. It's just going to grow and grow and grow, and keep me busy. And then I think we'll be back out on the road September, November, and then I'll be in New Jersey at this Ghosted magazine and Get Haunted Soror. I can't say that right. It's
Soiree.
Soiree. It's a party on a USS.
A soiree. Yes.
Soiree.
Soiree.
I thought it was an orgy, but anyway. Wait a second.
It might be. I mean, never until you get there.
Yeah, I never know who's there.
Alcohol's involved.
Yeah, but it's the USS New Jersey. But you're not allowed to invest.
So cool.
But you can't investigate on it. You can't investigate it.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Rob said. He can't investigate. So I think
You can if you stick that K2 meter in your bra.
Well,
I was gonna say, stick it in your bra, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I bet you could smuggle it in your firefighter shirt.
Yeah. That one looks suspicious, huh?
No.
But so that's in October. I'll be up to that. They just sent me an invite, so I don't know what we're gonna do there. I guess Patty Negri is gonna be there. I think we're gonna she's doing some seances and stuff like that. So just hang out, interact with people. I think there's some vendors setting up that type of thing, a meet and greet, whatever. I don't know what you're gonna. I don't know. You can investigate it. I don't know what we're gonna do at 3 a.m., but I guess we'll figure it out.
Are you going to be at any upcoming Paracons that people can go in and see you or hear you speak at, or are you just right now just filming?
I have booked for 2024, 2025. Unfortunately, this year I will be speaking somewhat at Gettysburg.
Okay, at the Gettysburg Bash.
Yeah, and then maybe Haunt Atlanta.
Okay.
Maybe, depending on my schedule and when that comes up. And then the Surrey, I don't think I'm speaking. I think it's just sort of like a
You're
thing.
just going to say hey and hang out.
Say hey and hang out. 2024, 2025, we'll be returning to Lafayette, Louisiana with Cajun Country Paracon. Yes.
Nice.
If you can, go check them out. Louisiana Spirits has asked us back, and we will be speaking there on ITC stuff. It won't be Breaking Dead Silence. It'll be on ITC, a little workshop, and how it started and where we're at today, and I'll bring a bunch of different devices that I have, and we can play around with them, and maybe we'll all learn something. Yeah. And then I think I booked in Texas the Black Swan with the
Victoria's Black Swan Inn
with the Paranormal Twins.
Oh, cool! Right. Nice.
Yeah.
You make sure you shoot us that date, and we'll try to get down there and support.
Yeah, that's pretty close to us. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
In May. ish.
They can find
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
where can they find you on YouTube?
We are Southern Heat Paranormal, but it's called Voices of the Past by SHP.
Okay.
But if you go to Southern Heat Paranormal on Facebook, our link tree is there.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's Spooky
they-
Entertainment LLC. We're just one big company in one. And then if you just click on our link tree, it'll take you to our which you'll like this. And Matt hates it because he thinks it's a porn site, but it's our website's. It's letsmakeithot.com. He's like, that sounds like a porno site.
It does.
It does.
Yeah,
You
but
will get a lot of clicks off
a
that.
clickbait, right? Yeah. So what is letsmakeithot.com?
Mm-hmm.
And then we show up. It's like, but yeah. But yeah, if you get on any of our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, I don't know, Facebook, or what was the first one? MySpace.
Oh, MySpace. Friendster. No.
Yeah, Friendster. Vine.
Vine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vine, yeah.
See, they all pioneered the way. But yeah, check us out.
TI-83 calculators.
Yeah, yeah. You can convert them to an ITC device, right?
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, just Spooky Entertainment.
SpookyEntertainmentLLC.com.
LLC,
and
yeah.
Click on
Well,
your link tree on.
Yeah, link tree,
Make it
It'll
hot.
give you all the links, and you can go to letsmakeithot.com.
All
And then
right.
we'll pop up, and you'll be like, oh, it's clickbait.
Well, gentlemen, do you have any
Clickbait.
further questions for our wonderful guest, Mr. Michael Angus?
No.
No. Well,
Oh.
then in that case, hang on just a second. And Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know?
Absolutely. We just got a couple announcements before we let y'all go. Remember that After Dark with EVP Season 1 and Season 2 are all on Paraflix Paranormal Plus, so make sure you check out all of those episodes that we have. That is available on Amazon Fire, Roku TV, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play, and you can use our link that'll be posted to our link tree via our Facebook tomorrow, and our code is After Dark 25 for 25% off your annual subscription. You will also find in that link tree our Patreon page, which is just $5 a month. You will gain access to well over 375 additional Patreon exclusive videos. Your support from that goes directly to the show and all the spooky adventures we get to bring you week after week. That is going to include our pre and post broadcast, which is the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast, where we fight and argue and debate and tell you way too extremely personal stories that we probably shouldn't share on air, but we do it anyways.
Find out what's my shirt. Become a patron.
Shelly woke up
Subscribe
missing.
today.
Yeah, Shelly woke up missing her shirt. Yeah, but if you like
That's
to
the
spend
$10 level.
Yeah, that's the
Tier.
$10 tier. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
only
exactly.
$5.
Exactly. It also includes our raw, unedited investigation footage as well from places like Squirrel Cage, Jail, Hell House Manor, and many others. So if you ever wanted to watch all of that, you can do that so on our Patreon. And we do offer a 7-day free trial if you want to give it a try before you purchase. If you'd like to spend some time with us, we will be at the McAllister Expo Center in McAllister, Oklahoma, July 5th through the 7th for the Oklahoma Paracon. So we have posted that link up. Go and get your tickets so we can see you there. Go and follow us across the social media platforms that we've got. Search Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Look for that green sound wave. And these are all the ways you can directly support Everything Vaguely Paranormal. But we always do love those likes, shares, comments, views, downloads, all that stuff. And any comments, stories, or anything you want to send us, those can be submitted to the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Like, share, and get subscribed to that YouTube and Facebook page. So I want to say a very special thank you, Captain Michael Angus, for
Thank you.
joining us and for jumping in with our craziness. And for myself, I'm Shelly Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith, Mr. Ryan Roberts. Thank you for watching Everything Vaguely Paranormal. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.